Hey everybody, Brimstone here, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I'm coming at you with the episode 3 review for It Welcome to Derry, and this episode did not disappoint. But before we get into this, if you are enjoying these reviews, want to hear more about low-key pop culture stuff, hit that like, hit that sub button, share this video out there, and yeah, let's dive into this. So, episode 3, I got my good old-fashioned handy-dandy notebook with my notes of chicken scratch. The episode actually starts off in the past of a little boy running through a fair. He goes to a freak show, sees some stuff that scares him, and then proceeds in heading out back. His dad is like, oh, he ran out scared, and his dad's like, don't be a sissy, and he got him a slingshot. And it's got to be in the 20s as it's a Model T. No, 1920. Yeah, but 1910, early 19, mid-century, about 1910, 1920. In the long run, it doesn't matter. The car overheats and they have to get some water on the side of the road. They see 3 little Indian kids, and he's got 3 cents, and it's 5 cents for a jar of water. And she's like, "Is that a slingshot?" And he trades the slingshot for the thing, and they end up becoming friends. They were 12 at the time, and they go through this stuff, and then they end up being friends, and they're running and playing in the forest, and the kid runs into some woods, and the Indian girl's like, no, don't run into the woods, stay out of the woods. And it is there, and it tries to get him, and the Indian girl saves him, and they come out. And that's that story, and then she ends up telling him about it, and that's that part of it. This episode doesn't have the blood, guts, and gore of the first 2. The first 2 do a really good job establishing that, yes, this is it. This is still that same feeling, but this episode is very much about character building, construction, and establishment. And it does a very, very good job doing this. We start off, Lily is still back at Juniper Hill for a little while. The insane asylum in Derry, and I don't think it's going to be a good ending for this young lady in this series. It has Madeline Stowe. She is a fantastic actress. She is somebody, Lily's friend, who believes her about what she's seeing. Lily is still struggling with her decision to throw Hank under the bus, which is the projectionist about the death of the kids. And she's really struggling with that. It makes 2 appearances in this show, but we have our first appearance of Pennywise. And it's a subtle, it's there, but it's not. He's there, but he isn't there. And it is absolutely fantastic. Lily's like, hey, let's get some pictures so they believe us. And they all gather up with, what's his name? Leroy's son and the little creepy kid who simps after the Marjorie, the girl with the glasses, Lily's friend. And he's like, oh, my parents are Spanish. They do Santeria and everything like that. So what do the kids do? In the genius thing they do, they have a seance in a cemetery. Now, what really gets me is was it a real, where they're actually, so they end up doing their seance, and they go to leave, and when they go to leave, all hell breaks loose, the ground cracks open, and you're not sure if it's it or if it's actual ghosts, but there is ghosts, and they're running through the cemetery from the ghosts, and they get out, and they're like, where's the kid? They're like, Leroy's son, I forget his name, is there, and he goes through, and he goes into one of the crypts, and he gets a picture. They have pictures, they have all this stuff, and it's great. They got photos of the ghosts, they got photos of stuff, and they come out, and they come out of the cemetery, and they break into some place, and they develop the photos. And as they're developing the photos, they go, yes, we got the ghost, and they're all excited. But then the one that the kid took was Mike, not Mike. Oh God, what's his name? He got a picture of Pennywise, and they're focusing it, and it's not a very good one. It's a little blurry because, that's how it works. And they literally squeeze it. That looks like a clown. And then that's that story arc. And it is absolutely fantastic. This does so much good establishing for these new characters and kids. Unfortunately, I have a very bad feeling that most of them are not going to have a good end. So next we'll skip to the military side. Halloran is find out that he doesn't have fear. We found this in the last episode, and that's why the general recruited him. So they go in, and he's like, "Well, we need Dick Halloran to, fly around. He's only been looking at a map. We need him to fly around and find all this stuff. We need him to find everything that's going on." So they do. They fly him over in a Huey, which is, God, I love that. A Chinook, basically a giant cargo helicopter with two blades, and Halloran's flying. Leroy's flying him around, and he opens up a cigar box, and inside is the same slingshot from earlier, from the kid. And you're thinking it's not what you think it is. It's actually really cool. So he's flying around, and he goes into a trance, and he is in the lair, Pennywise's lair. And it's got the carnival thing. The thing falls down, and it goes in, and all you see is two yellow eyes looking at Halloran and being just Dick, and just going, all this stuff. And Dick, the guy, looks up, and you see everybody floating. It's absolutely fantastic scene, and it does such a good job starting to establish this character and what he can do. And there's somebody floating up there. It's his grandmother. It tells him to run because it's coming for him. And he tries to throw himself out of the back of the helicopter because that's what he's seeing. They finally get him back to reality, and they go land. Later that night, Leroy invites him over to the house and everything. He's like, "Oh, your son, yeah, you got a son," and everything like that. They're talking with the wife and everything. And then they go sit out on the porch. He's like, "I don't remember you telling me I had a son." And he's like, he figures out that Dick has powers, and Leroy figures out Dick has powers. And because Dick has powers, he's like, "Stay out of my mind." He's like, "You don't ever have to worry about that. You are different. When we were in the room, I was in the suit. You had the pipe and everything. You didn't beat me with the pipe." Leroy's like, "You didn't hit me with the pipe, but you were definitely there." He's like, "I was there. And when I was in your head, the part where there was supposed to be fear, there was just calculation and seeking information. You don't have to worry about it." So Leroy is not capable of feeling fear. So this is going to get really interesting really quick. Overall, this was a fantastic episode. It set up so much going forward, and this is just the beginning. We have 5 episodes left of this season, and then we have to wait a bit longer for more, but this is off to a phenomenal start. I really enjoyed this episode almost as much as I did the first 2, maybe even a little bit more, because it didn't need the blood, guts, and gore and shock factor that the first 2 had. This one set up characters and developed your attachment to them, because this is not going to go well. I have a lot of predictions on what's going to happen, but no set information about it. But this is absolutely fantastic. If you like it, Welcome to Derry, please leave a like, hit that sub, share this video out there, drop a comment on your thoughts below. I'd be forever grateful. And thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.